Thank you everyone for coming. Almost everything they teach us about the ancient history is wrong. The origin of man, civilizations, and pyramids. When we would know the true purpose and the true history of our planet, our present would look much different. Remember, those who control the history control our present and future. The world of the past was the world of the pyramids. They tell us they are built in Egypt and Mexico. Wrong. They are built all over the planet. For those 3 pyramids at the Giza Plateau, Egyptology has been saying us for 2 centuries they were tombs for pharaohs of the 4th dynasty. But passageways don't have any paintings. Chambers, no mummies, no hieroglyphic writings, no symbols, no royal furniture, no organic material, no tools, not a single proof. Who, when, how, and why. The time will show that those pyramids are thousands and thousands of years older than the pharaohs of the 4th dynasty. This was the look of the most famous Mexican pyramid, the Pyramid of the Sun, in the city of Teotihuacan, 160 years ago. After 75 years of archaeological work, this is how it looks like today. One of the most beautiful examples of the pyramid architecture. There are 250 pyramids in the central Chinese province of Shanxi. 20 of them huge, built more than 12,500 years ago. There are 224 Nubian pyramids in northern Sudan, with a slope of 70 degrees. There are 43 pyramids on the island of Sicily in the Mediterranean. We do not know who or why. They are 4-sided with a plateau on the top. On the other side of Africa, Canary Islands, the biggest one, Tenerife, 104 pyramids, stepped in design, 4 sides, plateau on the top. The Spanish scientific community consider them pile of rocks made by local farmers when they were clearing the area. They do not admit that they are pyramids. On the 3rd side of Africa, the island of Mauritius, 7 beautifully done 4-sided pyramids. Again, stepped in design, volcanic stones, plateau on the top, orientation to the east, to the sunrise at the first day of the summer solstice. The government of Mauritius, again, consider them just a pile of rocks made by local farmers 100 years ago while they were derocking the area to plant the sugarcane fields. What's wrong with these people? Why they don't admit that they are pyramids? Because they would change their history. Officially, Wikipedia, all other encyclopedias consider this island being inhabited until the 15th century. The Mayan civilization built over 100,000 pyramids, 95% being still hidden in the jungle. This is the biggest one in the Mayan city of El Mirador. If cleared, it should look like this. Western Honduras, beautiful, most artistic Mayan city of Copan. This is their biggest pyramid. 1987, they were clearing the pyramid from the trees and the roots. they discovered 700 years older temple, which they named Rosalila, based on the rose color. So in this case, the pyramid was used as a protection for something even more important. Western Java, Indonesia. Dr. Danny Hillman discovered the pyramid in the middle of the jungle, 100 meters high, 29,000 years old. Originally, it looked like this. Archaeological community in Indonesia do not allow him to do the digging. It changes the history. Northeastern Cambodia, beautiful 7-tier Kocher pyramid. 4 sides, perfectly oriented to the cardinal points, east, west, north, south. Volcanic stone and the sandstone, different productivity, but both energy potent. Tunnels leading to the pyramid, tunnels below the pyramid, underground water flow. Soon we will realize that it seems the same architects built the biggest and the oldest pyramids. Pyramids on the US soil, nobody teaches us about them. More than 200 Cahokia pyramids. The biggest one has the surface 12% larger than the Great Pyramid of Egypt. American government do not allow their archaeologists to dig and prove who built them. Pyramids in El Salvador, San Andres area, covered by soil and grass. If cleared, this is its original look. Pyramids need scientific criteria to define them. Let's forget those stories for little children about tombs for the pharaohs. And that's what we've been doing in Bosnia in the last 12 years. Criteria number 1 is geometry. You have to have a geometry of the pyramid. 12 years ago, in April of 2005, I first came to little Bosnian town of Visoko, 40,000 people, not because of pyramids, but to visit the local museum. And then I saw this. 25 years before that, I had been studying pyramids all around the planet. My Ph.D. was about the Mayan pyramids, and most of them were hidden in the jungles. So when I saw this, 4 sides, triangular faces, obvious corners, the same slope from bottom to the top, and those 4 sides meet at apex, geometry was obviously pyramidal. I took compass, and compass showed me that this side perfectly matched north, south, east, and west. There was no doubt in my mind. This was an artificial structure, but after thousands of years, covered by soil and vegetation. Or, from the air, Kofu, your time. 2 major rivers, eastern slope of the pyramid, northern slope. So from this imaginary line to the top, 220 meters. The Great Pyramid of Egypt, 147. The biggest, the largest pyramid on the planet, the western triangular face, and the causeway leading to the top of the pyramid. 2006, we started excavation. This is the northeast corner after removal of 1 meter of soil, the place where 2 sides meet. Element number 2 for the pyramids, artificial construction material. In Peru, they used adobe bricks. In Guatemala, shaped volcanic stones. In Mexico, sandstone and granite. In Egypt, limestone and granite. And here in Bosnia, everywhere we were digging, we were finding construction materials. just 1 meter below the soft layer of soil. Our archaeological trench number 4C, we removed 1 meter of soil, we are finding blocks, rectangular in shape, 6 sides, flat top, break at 10 degrees, flat side, flat bottom. This is not made by Mother Nature, but by intelligent hands. These blocks, 7.5 tons. Another one. We took samples, analyzed them at Institute for Materials in 5 countries. They all told us the same thing. It was an artificially made concrete. Some people call it a geopolymer concrete. Some people call it synthetic concrete. Concrete. Well, you can determine the quality of concrete based on 2 elements. The first one is hardness. Harder the concrete, more durable, better quality. Our concretes in 21st century are in the range 10 megapascals to 60 megapascals. This sample here is 73. After we have analyzed 50 samples, the best quality 134 megapascals. Never in human history such good quality concrete was made, like the one that covered the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. No wonder that Bosnians are even today excellent construction workers. The second element, water absorption. Less absorption, better quality. Our norms, 3%. This one, only 1%. Superior. So far we have uncovered thousands of tons of best quality concrete. You probably heard a few weeks back in the jungles of Guatemala, using new LiDAR technology, they discovered tens of thousands more structures. On this technology, you can basically remove the greenery. With more pyramids and temples and terraces and more structures. Without the greenery, looks like this. And guess what? We applied that technology also 2013. And here's our Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. From here, 220 meters. However, without the greenery, the pyramid goes back all the way to the bottom of the valley. 360 meters. The Love Pyramid, Temple of Mother Earth, the Moon Pyramid, the Dragon Pyramid. 5 structures. Possible original look. So, if we just change the color of what we have today, the green pyramid, into the brown color, this is exactly what we are getting. Element number 3, orientation of the sides to the cardinal points. Old Chinese pyramids, north. Peruvian, north. Cahokia pyramids in the States, north. Egyptian pyramids, north. The best orientation, Great Pyramid of Egypt. Error from perfect north, 0 degrees, 2 minutes. Bosnian Pyramid. Error, 0 degrees, 0 minutes, and only 12 seconds. The most precise on the planet. Element number 4, inner chambers and passageways. According to geophysical studies, the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, its north and eastern slope, has 7 levels of tunnels, and they are shown in different colors. White color, 10 meters deep. Blue color, 40 meters deep. Yellow, 150. 7 levels, and they are laid out like a spiral, going all the way to the top. Element number 5, underground tunnels. Under Giza pyramids, 2 levels of tunnels. Chinese pyramids, tunnels. Mexican tunnels. But under Bosnian pyramids is the most extensive underground tunnel network on the planet. It runs for tens and tens of kilometers. Element number 6, water. Egypt, River Nile. Major river in China, Mexico, Peru. In Bosnia, 2 major rivers. River Fonica, if you go back, gold mines. And River Bosna, the biggest Bosnian river, and a lot of underground water flow. Element number 7, sacred or holy geometry. When we connect the tops of the Sun Pyramid with the top of the Moon Pyramid, 2.2 kilometers. Moon to Dragon, Dragon back to Sun, 2.2 kilometers. equilateral triangle. It's a perfect geometrical shape. And as such, part of the sacred geometry. You have sacred geometry, you have movement of the energy. Sun, moon, dragon. But inside this triangle, another one, top of the love pyramid, top of the temple of Mother Earth, entrance to the tunnel and the river. Triangle within a triangle, sacred geometry. Element number 8, astronomical features. To the left is the shadow of the sun pyramid in the midsummer, going towards the western slope of the moon pyramid. At the sunset, the shadow completely covers the moon pyramid, and the top of the shadow touches the top of the moon pyramid. In a symbolical way, the builders are telling us the rule of the sun is over, and the rule of the moon and the night starts. Element number 9, location of the pyramid. They were always built above energy potent places. Below our pyramid is a huge iron plate. Why iron? Because iron generates electromagnetic field. What the pyramid does, it pulls this energy, getting it through the network of the tunnels, amplifying it. How do we know that it amplifies the energy? Because we have measured it. At the base of the pyramid and at the top. At the top, the energy is 50 times stronger. The second energy form, 21 meters below the pyramid, underground, water flow. Water moves, releases negative ions. Pyramid amplifies the concentration of negative ions. Energy form number 3, 55 meters, there is another water flow. Between the two flows, electricity is generated. Form number 4, natural magnetic force. Number 5, orgone, or the life energy. Number 6, ultrasound. How do you get ultrasound? You have electromagnetic fields, it hits quartz crystal, a lot of it, on the pyramid, in the tunnels. Through the piezoelectrical effect, we have ultrasound. So what the pyramid does not generate energy from nothing. It simply amplifies existing natural sources. Element number 10, volcanic lines. What are the volcanic lines? When we connect two volcanoes, it's volcanic line. If we extend the line, at the end we have a pyramid. Pyramid is sitting on the volcanic line. We have analyzed 75 megalithic and pyramid sites all around the planet, concluding that they are all sitting on intersections of number of volcanic lines. Why volcanoes? Lava, iron, minerals, energy. It has always been about the energy. For example, the biggest pyramid in Mexico, Cholula, is sitting on intersection of 18 volcanic lines. Chichen Itza, 26, Angkor Wat, 15, Gunung Padang in Indonesia, 17, Bosnian Pyramids, 26 volcanic lines. So, we have those 10 scientific criteria for the pyramids. Bosnian pyramids do fulfill all of them. So what is the result? The result is new definition of pyramids. Very simple. Pyramids are energy machines. How do we film? How do we measure this energy? We can do that. Dr. Harry Oswald from UK developed a special camera called the PIP camera that can film energy fields above hills, cities. Those energy fields are always horizontal, like green and blue and red and rose. This is a little village in western Serbia, green and blue and green and blue and red. And this is the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. The year 2015, all the lines are vertical. So something is happening here. This is the year 2007, all the lines are vertical. We have filmed all Bosnian pyramids, lines are always vertical. Why? To the right, is the town of Visoko. The hotel, the mosque, the forest, other structures, and that's a natural ambient. And we have horizontal fields. To the left, the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, the Love Pyramid, vertical lines, energy machines. Energy is getting accumulated inside the pyramid, going through the top, hitting horizontal lines, they are becoming vertical. It's been like that for the last 11 years, and most probably for thousands of years before that. Two leading Russian geophysicists, Professor Havroshkin, Professor Tsiplakov from the Schmidt Institute of Russian Academy of Natural Sciences, spent 2 years doing the measurements independently from us, concluding Bosnian pyramids match Egyptian pyramids in shape, form, and seismic values, and 280 meters below the top of the Sun Pyramid, network of tunnels. Conclusion, it was an artificial construction complex. Today I won't be talking about the obstacles. Believe me, we have had many of them. Local archaeologists, geologists, historians, museum curators writing petitions against us to the Bosnian government to stop us. European Archaeological Association writing petitions against us. European archaeologists being boycotting these projects for 10 years now. American, Polish, French, German, leading English archaeologists all against us. Even leading Egyptologist Dr. Zahi Hawass. They asked Bosnian government to stop this project even before we started. When everybody is attacking you, there is a good chance that you are onto something real big. Without the government money, without the support of financial institutions, we have found our way to keep working with enthusiasm of hundreds of volunteers from all over the world. This is the photo from the very beginning, 2006. We are removing 1 meter of soil, we are finding those big concrete blocks. And on this photo we can clearly see our typical Bosnian productivity. One guy is walking and hundreds are watching, giving him instructions where to dig. And on top of that, one is having a speech here. Archaeology is very conservative science. Only politically correct professors can work on the leading sites in the world, pyramids in Egypt or Mexico or China, and a lot of confidential stuff. But we said in our case, there will be no place for the elite science. There will be no selected information. That's why we opened the project for volunteers from all over the world. And in the last 8 years only, we have had more than 3,000 of them, coming from 62 countries and 6 continents. Never such enthusiasm in the world of archaeology, because they are becoming part of a discovery, helping us to uncover biggest concrete blocks, hundreds and hundreds of tons of the concrete, and rows of the ancient good quality concrete, 45 degrees all the way to the top of the pyramid. The second one is the Bosnian Pyramid of the Moon, different in design and the material. Ancient builders used sandstone plates, which they shaped on all 6 sides, moved them from the quarry. Line them over here, we can see the beautiful terraces. The first one, below is the second one, below is the third one. The moment we started uncovering the Bosnian Pyramid of the Moon, geologists from Bosnia, from France, from UK, from US, Dr. Robert Shaw, were saying there is nothing there, it is all natural. Really? Mother Nature can shape these plates on all 6 sides and then move them from the quarry a couple of kilometers, then lie them over here, and then build the steps. You make your own decision. From the base to the top, 190 meters, is the height of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Moon. Much bigger than the Great Pyramid of Egypt. And this is what they don't like. Discovery of the first European pyramids of all countries in little Bosnia. The project is not run by the government, universities, museums, but by non-profit, independent foundation. They're the biggest on the planet, the best quality concrete on the planet, the most precise orientation on the planet. We need to change all the history books. Everywhere we dug, 64 different places, pavements, rectangular structures, vertical walls, terraces, steps, shaped blocks and plates, huge stone structure in the shape of the pyramid with the four sides, perfect orientation to the cardinal points. The top of the moon pyramid, we removed 1 meter of soil, we discovered the first torus, the second, the third. We cut the hole to see how the profile looks like. Look at it. The first row of blocks, 10 centimeters of clay. They use clay as the binder. The second row of blocks, 10 centimeters of clay. The third row of blocks, 10 centimeters of clay. The ancients were wise. They knew properties of natural construction material. Clay was a binder, construction material, waterproof, thermal insulation, sound insulation, and it gives flexibility to the structure. In the case of the earthquake, the structure does not collapse, it breathes. Play, come back to original position. This is the base of the moon pyramid. The first row, the second terrace, the third terrace, large, medium size, and small. Large, medium, small, and we have Fibonacci formula assigned here, element of sacred geometry. Ancient geologists today, they see clay in Bosnia and they say, oh, it's all natural. They don't realize that clay was used as the construction material in the case of Chinese pyramids. When they uncovered one of them in China, 90% was clay. Even underground tunnels, 80% was clay. How old are Bosnian pyramids? They are covered by soil and vegetation. If we can figure out the age of the soil, we can get to the minimum age of the structure. The science that investigates the origin of soil is called pedology. We have Institute for Pedology in Bosnia, and they concluded that the age of soil is between 12 and 15,000 years, meaning the structure below is much older. And then we discovered organic material below the first row of blocks and above the second, like in the sandwich. Fossilized leaves. How did they get there? Well, the ancients were placing the first row of concrete, the second, the third. The wind was blowing, bringing the leaves, and then they finally placed the fourth row. Those leaves will give us the precise age of construction. Why? Because they are organic material, and you can date them. We send the leaves to the radiocarbon dating lab in Kiev, the age 29,200 years plus minus 400 years. So we go back for 30,000 years. And there it goes, our official history. Sumerians, 6,000. Babylon, Akkad, Assyria, Hittite, ancient Egypt, ancient India. This is just the last cycle of humanity. Before this one, there was another one, which ended 12,000 years ago, and another one 18,000 years ago, and another one 3,000, another one 55, and finally 75,000 years ago. They are teaching us about the theory of evolution. 10,000 years ago, they are saying we were primitive cavemen. Today we are the most developed, the most intelligent, and the most beautiful. Wrong. It's cycle after cycle after cycle. We reach the peaks, global catastrophe hits us, we start from the beginning. You ask archaeologists what was happening 10 or 3,000 years ago, they will tell you nothing, really. Next to the Japanese island of Yonaguni, between Taiwan and China, 13 underwater cities were discovered in the last 25 years. They call them Yonaguni monuments. 30 to 80 meters below the sea level. Beautiful step design megalithic structures, half-radio structures. Japanese archaeologists are saying it's all natural. German, American archaeologists are supporting them. Robert Schoch is supporting them. They're saying natural. Really? Water can make those megalithic structures? I don't think so. They are afraid of the consequences. Who built it? When? Obviously over 12,000 years ago. Eastern Lebanon, Baalbek, the biggest blocks on the planet, 1,200 tons. Our technology until 15 years ago had cranes with capacity of 350 tons. 1,200 tons, 4 times more massive. So there were more advanced civilizations in the past. Eastern Turkey, Göbekli Tepe. Dr. Klaus Schmidt from Germany, late Klaus Schmidt, discovered those beautiful circles. Every one looks like a Stonehenge. They uncovered only 3 of them. He died. German Archaeological Institute did not pick up a new leader. They stopped. Officially, they are saying 11,600 years. He told me 4 years ago, at least 15 to 18,000 years. Very embarrassing for the mainstream science. What is the purpose of pyramids? Archaeologists, Egyptologists, geologists cannot help us. We needed real scientists, people with instruments, physicists, electrical engineers, sound engineers, telecommunication engineers. First one to come, physicist from Zagreb, Croatia. He was measuring electromagnetic fields on nearby hills, no anomalies, and on the top of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. And there, on the top, in the radius of 4.5 meters, he detected and measured electromagnetic field of 28 kilohertz frequency. He got out of this radius, no measurement. He went back in, it was there. It meant that this electromagnetism does not go left or right, but it goes up as the energy beam. Serbian engineer Goran Marjanović, 3 months later, confirmed this measurement with his own equipment, 28 kilohertz. And later that summer, sound engineer Heikki Savolainen from Finland and anthropologist Professor De Bertolis from Italy, they all confirmed the same measurements. When in science you have 4 independent teams who come at 4 different times, who bring their own equipment, and they all get the same result, it is called an independent, international, scientific verification of the phenomenon. Which phenomenon? This one here, energy beam going through the top of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, which is focused, which is continuous, because you measure it in the winter and the fall and the summer and the spring, which is 28 kilohertz and 4.5 meters. Mother Nature does not make hills with 4 sides, triangular faces, perfect orientation, east, west, north, south. Artificially made concrete, inner passageways, underground tunnels, and energy beam going through the top like this one here. You have to have an energy machine. So, the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun is not only the biggest, the largest pyramid on the planet, but the oldest energy machine that has been working continuously for more than 30,000 years. The first perpetual motion machine on the planet. And then we measured the strength of the signal at the ground, 3 meters higher, another 3 meters higher. Every time we lifted this antenna, the signal was getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And the physicists could not believe. They said, hey, wait a minute, our technology works on the principle, closer to the source of the energy, the signal is stronger. You move away, it's getting weaker and weaker. Hertzian technology. But since everything is upside down in Bosnia, our pyramids work differently. You move away, signal is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Let's call it non-Hertzian technology. In 21st century, we do not have non-Hertzian waves. But the gentleman who was born just 200 kilometers from the Bosnian pyramids was experimenting with this type of technology in 1899 in his lab in Colorado Springs. And his name was Nikola Tesla. He invented a transmitter with which he was able to send energy beams wirelessly from one end of his lab 18 meters to the other end. He was even able to light up the light bulbs, even if they were burned. And just before they are going to burn down his lab, because he was becoming a threat to the mainstream science, he did the last experiment. He sent energy beam to the ionosphere around our planet. It reflected, coming back to the coral springs, much stronger, non-Hertzian effect. And then he was able to light up 10,000 homes. For the first time, one scientist from our civilizational cycle has proved that clean energy was possible, that unlimited quantities of energy were possible, that non-Hertzian technology was possible, that wireless transportation of the energy was possible, and finally, that free energy was possible. Have American corporations accepted this invention 120 years ago? Of course not. How did J.P. Morgan, the biggest donor of Tesla's work, sell the free energy and make money? Instead, with his colleagues, billionaires, they started investing money in inferior, but much more expensive, Edison's technology. Hydro, thermal, today's nuclear power plants. A lot of money for those power plants. A lot of money for transform. A lot of money for the cables to transfer the energy, and losing 20 to 30%. So they can sell it to us, end user, for a lot of money. And this is called the profit economy. But the time will come when the free energy will be available to all of us. And that will be the first pillar of the free society. And the second one will be the free flow of knowledge. And based on those two pillars, we will have a society of free women and free men. Amen. Thank you. Tesla built famous Wardenclyffe Tower, and after a few experiments he was writing, I had found a way to transfer unlimited quantities of energy, thousands of horsepowers between two planets, regardless of their distance. And the frequency for this energy transfer that he was using was 28 kilohertz, the same frequency that we measure on the top of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. Tesla, through unsuccessful and successful tries, got the proper frequency, and the Bosnian Pyramid builders knew about it 30,000 years ago. The Kukulkan Pyramid in Mexico, Chichen Itza, 2009, tourist from El Salvador is filming his family in the back, energy beam going through the top of the pyramid. The Pyramid of the Moon, Teotihuacan, energy beam. There are more energetically active pyramids, not only Bosnians. And then we measured more phenomena. Professor De Bertolis, standing on the top of the Sun Pyramid. In the winter times, look, everything is white, snow. He measured in this energy beam inside another phenomenon, ultrasound. What we can hear is called sound, 10 hertz up to 20 kilohertz. About 20 kilohertz is ultrasound. He measured 28 kilohertz frequency of the ultrasound, and then he converted it to something that we can hear, 8 kilohertz. And now let's hear how the pyramid speaks. Coffee. What are the proto-Bosnians are telling us? They are communicating, and they still do. Where is the message going? This is how this 28 looks like. 28, 28, 28. You see the same distances? We have like blocks of ultrasound. If you have blocks, you have an artificial source. Why is this frequency so important? American Ralph Ring was making experiments with the ultrasound, 21, 22, 23. When he came to 28 kilohertz, he had table tennis balls above the sound speaker. At 28 kilohertz, ball started going to the air. He went to bed, leaving the machine on. He came back next morning, ball was still in the air. He discovered the frequency of the levitation. And this is the frequency we have on the top of the pyramids and inside the tunnels below the pyramids. We feel light in those tunnels. And then we measure more energy phenomena. Goran Samukovic from Serbia, he measured extremely low frequency, ELF, of 7.83 Hertz. This is 0 to 10 Hertz. In science it is called the Schumann resonance. Everything resonates in the nature. Our planet has been resonating at 7.83 until 1990 for thousands of years. And then because of our technology, this frequency changes 8, 10, 12, 15 Hertz according to the measurements from Finland and Russia. Western world is saying, no, it's impossible. But these people, they measure it. What does that mean? We do not live in our natural energy field anymore. Some of us with white grays, and the two of us are the oldest here, Muhammad. Remember, 30, 40 years ago, everything was much more calm. 1 hour would last forever. Today, the moment we wake up in the morning, we don't have time for anything. So much stress around us. We are not in our natural energy field anymore. But Bosnian pyramids, tunnels, 7.83. We are back home. Last year we measured using drone and different instruments above the pyramids, different energy phenomena. The most interesting was electrical spectrum. Electrical beam is going above the top of the sun pyramid. First few meters, about 4.5 meters. But then it's expanding at the height of 21 meters. It is the widest and the strongest. And then it's coming back, becoming narrow. And again, expanding, narrow, expanding, narrow. And for physicists and engineers, there were no doubt. These are so-called scalar waves. Scalar waves are much quicker than the speed of light. The second element of this beam, we measured the orientation, and we realized that in the afternoon it was oriented mostly southwest. Why southwest? It's position of the sun. At the noontime, mostly south. In the evening, west. So those scalar waves are following the movement of the sun on horizon. Does it mean that the pyramids communicate with the sun, using it as the cosmic gate, and through the sun with other suns and other solar systems and other galaxies? And do we have a base for the cosmic internet? And that might be the first very important potential purpose of pyramids. Long distance communication. Scalar waves on the top of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. Of all the countries, little Bosnia. When we think about our universe, according to hypothesis of Albert Einstein, the largest speed is the speed of light, 300,000 kilometers per second. It's a big speed. From here to New York, it's within 1 second. But from here to our sun, 7.5 minutes. Speed of light from here to the northern star, 700 light years. From here to the center of our galaxy, Milky Way, 40,000 years. And finally from here to the center of the universe, where man with the white robe and long white bird is sitting, creating the universes and the galaxies. It takes 5 billion years for the information to reach from our planet to the center of the universe. So now imagine that Bosnian sending a signal through the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun to the center of the universe. It takes 5 billion years until Creator receives the information. By the time he answers back, another 5 billion years. Well, until that time, this poor Bosnian, he will get very, very long white beard. So, from the universal point of view, the speed of light is actually very slow. We need something much quicker. And the scalar waves have speed 100 billion times quicker than the speed of light. The information, the energy moves instantly from one end of a galaxy to another one. But for that, we will need to change our theory about the space. They are teaching us in schools, 85% is empty, there is nothing there, vacuum. Wrong. Very small electrical particles are everywhere. So information travels instantly. Below the Bosnian pyramids, tunnels. One of the entrances here, the pyramid is there. 2.5 kilometers. This is how they look like. 2 civilizations inside. The first who built this vast network of tunnels and intersections and chambers and artificial lakes over 30,000 years ago. And the second one who came 5,000 years ago, they closed all the tunnels. Filler material, drywalls. They closed all of them. So what we do today, we remove the filler material and then we put the wooden support moving towards the sun pyramid. Inside huge blocks sitting on supports. We've analyzed those blocks, and through very sophisticated analysis, we were told they were artificial ceramic material. 30,000 years ago, ceramic. Today for ceramics, we need the pressure, we need high temperatures. Georadar instrument, we measure what was inside and find out that inside there was an oval object, not air, not water, not ceramic, not metal, but mineral. Most probably quartz crystal. So, 21 meters below, underground water flow, water moves, releases the energy, activating the quartz crystal. It starts working. It is surrounded by ceramic. Ceramic oscillates, generating electromagnetic fields that we can measure using our scientific instruments. And we measure 2 frequencies. 28 kilohertz, and very low, 7.83 hertz. 7.83, Schumann resonance, most stable energy field. 28 kilohertz, going through tunnels, the pyramid pulls this energy, going through those vast network of tunnels inside the pyramid, spinning and then going through the top. Very interesting energy complex. And then, using another technology, we realize that one of those blocks, K2, has a lot of dark blue areas. Dark blue meaning very high frequency, which affects our spiritual realm. So this area is ideal to relax, to meditate for the spiritual work. You come over there, you open your hands, close your eyes, you can feel tingling in your fingers. You can feel the energy. Now, we don't use our physical senses. 5 physical senses, we can see, we can hear, we can taste, we can touch. But we use some other senses. We feel the energy. That's the spiritual sense. It gives another aspect of this project, spiritual. What are other spiritual senses? We can exchange thoughts, telepathy. We can move objects with the power of our mind. Telekinesis. We can move through space and time through very strong energy fields. Teleportation. Who was generating those fields? Well, builders of pyramids and megalithic sites. In another block, we call it K1, we can see a lot of red color. It's a low frequency. Low frequency can penetrate our body, affecting our blood circulation in a very beneficial way. And now we have healing aspect. 2010, we discovered entrance to the first underground chamber, 220 meters from the entrance. It was completely filled with the filler material. We removed everything manually, shovel and the wheelbarrow. with volunteers and our workers. And then we realized this chamber is about 50 square meters, 4 meters high. When people go through tunnels, deeper they go, they breathe better and better. Not very logical, but we already know by now that nothing in Bosnia is logical. In the coal mining, you get inside the facility after 20 meters, lack of oxygen. In Bosnian Pyramid tunnels, deeper you go, you breathe better and better. People come to this chamber, especially people with asthma, they go outside, they don't need air pumps anymore. This girl from Slovakia, she had the problem with the very low lung capacity. She was using only 47%. Therapies, injections, nothing was helping her. She came to our tunnels twice. And the lung capacity went to 84%. So last year she was even volunteering with us. Before that she could not breathe normally. These people from Prague, Czech Republic, they are measuring different parameters. Among others, sugar in the blood, glucose in the blood. If it is 3.5 to 6.1, it's normal level. 6.1 to 10, risky. Above 10, diabetes. Jirka, before entering, 7.8, risky level. When he came back after 1 hour, 5.1. Karel, 10.5, almost diabetes. He came back, 5.7, normal level. This woman from Turkey, 54 years old, for 10 years she used to have very high blood pressure, reaching 220 over 135. You can imagine the migraines she would have. In last 3 years, she's been coming to Bosnia, Istanbul, Sarajevo, 4 times a day, 1 hour, 15 minutes. You come to Sarajevo, International Airport, 30 minutes to the town of Visoko and pyramid sites. She comes twice a year. Blood pressure never goes above 140 over 90. So, what's happening inside? We always look for the scientific explanations. First, we measure pyramid energies. Number 1, the best electromagnetic field. Number 2, the best ultrasound levitation frequency. Number 3, extremely low frequency, 7.83, the Schumann resonance. Number 4, negative ions. Negative ions, very good for us. More negative ions, better for us. They clear the atmosphere from dust. They raise the level of oxygen in our body. They kill viruses, bacteria. In this conference hall, when you came here half an hour ago, we had probably 100 negative ions per cubic centimeter. When I let you go about 2 a.m., that would be a joke. You'll have about 25 negative ions per cubic centimeter. You'll feel heavy, sleepy. We go outside, 400. By the rivers, which you don't have, 1,000. The mountains, you need to come to Bosnia to see mountains, 4,000 in the forests. The Bosnian Pyramid tunnels, June 4, June 5, June 6, June 7, 9 o'clock, 11, 1, 3, entrance 20 meters, 20, 30, 40, 50,000. This winter we had over 100,000 negative ions per cubic centimeter. The highest concentrations on the planet. Higher than the Niagara Falls, which is officially the highest. And then we measured the cosmic radiations. What's that? Well, we live on the surface of the planet. A lot of radiations coming our way. Some of them harmful. Our body cells fight those bad radiations. In the Bosnian Pyramid tunnels, 40 meters below the ground, no cosmic radiations. The next thing, natural radioactivity. We use Geiger counters to measure radioactivity, also coming from underground. Some places we walk, we are not even aware that this radioactivity is hitting our body. And again, our body cells are fighting radioactivity from below, cosmic radiation from above. 24 hours, they are busy fighting the enemies. In the Bosnian Pyramid tunnels, no radiation. You take your cell phone, the mobile phone, it says no service. So no bad frequency from the mobile phones. You take your laptops looking for the Wi-Fi signal, no Wi-Fi signal. Now, today, mobile phones are working almost close to 5 gigahertz. Before, they started 0.75. Every year, it's gradually going up. Wi-Fi, same thing. From 2.5 giga to 3 giga, they call it 3G, then 4G. Tomorrow, the whole planet will be covered with 5G. We will think that's technology and progress. 5G is the frequency of the microwave, which has been proven to cause the cancer. You go inside the Bosnian Pyramid tunnels, no radiations. For the first time in our lives, when we enter the tunnels, our body cells don't have enemies. They can start doing their job. What is their job? To fix the problems in the body, to start the regeneration process, to start the self-healing process. We measure the special bioenergy field around the body called the aura, auric field. There's this blue color. If this blue field is continuous, it means we are, among other things, healthy. So this was me before. You see this right side is not bad, it's continuous. Left side, oops, we have discontinuation around the knee. They told me, potential problem with the blood circulation. I went inside, spent 1 hour, I came back. Right side will be better, left side, hop, around the knee, self-healed. Chakras, 7 chakras in our physical body. Through them, energy is flowing. If they are small, if they are not in balance, we have problem with the energy movement and then on the physical plane also. So, person before entering the tunnels, not bad balance, but rather small. And after coming back, much bigger, better energy flow. Emotional pressure, stress before and after. So all the parameters are getting better. Italian scientist Dr. Simone Zuccarato was measuring the blood, the red blood cells and the white blood cells, before and after the tunnels. Now this was my picture after I came back. He explained me. The circles, the beautiful circles, are red blood cells. This is how they're supposed to look like. If they're more oval, if they're discontinued, there is a problem. But they have perfect shape, good movement, good structure, and you see how much room they leave for the white blood cells, the little guys, so they can attack the toxins. So inside the tunnels, detoxification process is happening. So it seems that it has something to do with the rejuvenation also. Nobody would give me 92 years. Rejuvenation. And that would probably explain this woman who came 2 weeks ago. This is how she looked like before visiting the tunnels. She spent 1 hour, and let's see what happened. Not bad. We are finding water in some of the pyramid tunnels. Water, the most important liquid in our life. Look at the water. The water has been here for thousands of years. You would expect it to be green, full of microbes. No, it's crystal clear. We've done chemical, microbiological analysis. We have autobosons here. It says, voda je zdravstveno ispravna. So it is drinkable. No viruses, no bacteria. We sent water to the experts in molecular structure, Dr. Masaru Emoto, before she passed away. This is the tap water from New York City. We don't have a structure at all. What we drink, the water, there is no microbes, no viruses, no bacteria. It's drinkable. But it has chlorine, which is a poison. It has fluorides, which is a poison. It has traces of heavy metals, which is a poison. The water that we drink in the bottles or at homes is energetically dead. It vibrates very low. This is the water from the dam in Japan. Looks okay, molecular structure looks ugly. This is the water from the largest fresh water lake in Japan, Lake Biwa, from the satellite. Looks beautiful blue color. On molecular level, looks bad. It's contaminated. This is the water from the town of Visoko, where the pyramids are. But it's a regular city water with the chlorine and the fluorides and everything. Again, looks bad. And this is the Bosnian Pyramid tunnel water. We sent it by mail to Japan, so it went through X-rays and all these machines, but still it kept the beautiful, perfect hexagonal shape. Why hexagonal? It's the most perfect geometrical shape. It contains 6 pyramids and beautiful crystal-like shape. This water is energetically alive. It's a happy water. It vibrates high. When we hate someone, when we are jealous, when we are violent, we vibrate very low. When we have love for everyone, we vibrate very high. It's all about the vibration. So, when it comes to the pyramids, to answer the question from our topic tonight, pyramids are energy machines, and it would work on different levels. Very powerful communication devices to protect what is the most important in our lives, our health, to improve the most important liquid in our life, water, food, auric field, chakras, everything and anything. The pyramid energy is a solution for 21st century. Bosnia has become known as the country of war and the violence and war criminals, nowadays corruption, all the negative news. With this project, we've been changing that to the country of pyramids and the research and archaeology and tourism and the volunteers, all the positive news. We trained our own guides. We bring those tourists, like those Malaysians. What are they doing? They are laying on the concrete blocks of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, getting charged with the good energy. We organize our volunteers every year, June, July, and September. Over here, there is a place with some of our flyers with the website. You can take a look so you can apply. So, our shifts are about 10 or 11 days. The first day, we show them archaeological locations, then we show them the beauties of the country, and then we give them tools. So they help us to remove the soil from the Sun Pyramid. They, as you can see, the photos from 2017, they're coming 40, 50, 60 of them every shift. Great enthusiasm, a lot of love, and a lot of friendship. People from all over the world, unique on the planet. And they are having a lot of fun. So, when we think about the future of archaeology, science, and humanity, it is not in the elite science. It is not in a closed-minded people. It is not in the people who are not ready to share. It is in open-minded people. It is in the people who share the knowledge and information. It is in the people with a smile on their faces. Thank you very much.